Oh, God. Quick,
Is he dead?
Come here. Come here, Michael.
Turn him on. Who is it, George?
Oh my goodness.
And did Eddie Seward say where he'd come from?
I presumed London. His coat was Savile Row, and to be on the 10:25 bus from Fothersby meant he'd most likely arrived on the 8:05 from Paddington.
Right.
And it was an impulsive visit, Detective Somerset. I believe he'd only decided to make the journey that morning.
He told you that, did he?
No, he had no travel bag.
And did he say why he was headed to Little Ambrose?
Yes, he said he was here to force the moment to its crisis.
Oh, well, that could mean anything.
No, it's from a poem about a man called Prufrock, who was trying to summon up the courage to ask a woman to marry him.
Is it?
Now, Inspector, I couldn't help noticing when I saw the body that the bottom half of the tie that killed him was missing.
Well, you had a good look, did you?
Well, you can learn so much if you're lucky enough to see the body. Can I just ask, if the other part of his tie was found on or near him?
Well, that's a police concern, Miss Marple.
Yes.
Inspector, it seems you've just had a phone call from a certain lady who would like to see you rather urgently.
And the scratches on his neck, I wonder, were they made by the dead man or by a possible assailant?
Again, Miss Marple, that's a matter that should only concern the police. And what's the name of this certain lady?
Mary Pritchard. I suggest you wear a helmet.
I don't want those pills. I want your magic, Dr. Frayne. You know I can't take pills without mayonnaise.
Mrs. Pritchard, I was told you had something urgent to tell me.
That's what she said.
I'm being burgled.
You were not being burgled.
Jewellery goes missing from this room. Yes, it does. My emerald ring, for one. That diamond brooch. Snuff boxes from the hall table spirited away. Now you're in the village, Inspector. You can take me seriously and put all your efforts into this crime as well.
Mrs. Pritchard, I have a capital crime here. Now, I was told you had something urgent to say about the murder of Eddie Seward.
That was Eddie Seward?
Yes, did you know him?
Oh, I knew him. You did too, didn't you, George?
Just before I left the yard, we investigated an Edward Seward, because his wife went missing.
That's right. And that's what Detective Somerset found out after a quick phone call.
He was a member here, you know. Rich as Croesus he was. Inherited a mining fortune, never did a day's work in his life.
Yes, I believe we would have been in the same society events as Eddie Seward, but we weren't friends. I wouldn't have recognised him.
Business associates?
Oh. Would you like a drink, Inspector? Or are you all right with tea?
No, thanks. Tea's fine.
Of course.
So, from what I can gather, he would finance ventures, some of them nefarious.
Yes, well, I steer clear of financiers like that.
Tea, Mr. Pritchard?
Yes, thank you, Hester.
No, thanks.
I set up the airline with contacts I had in the Air Force.
Good. Oh, where were you between 11:30 and the events at the golf course this afternoon?
I was here.
Thank you.
Hello. I've been looking for you. How are you?
I have been here for 40 years, Jane. And the whole thing's going to fall down around me.
You'll raise the money. This where you write?
Yes, I tried to get inspiration from these things.
Oh, 7 deadly sins.
Yes, and I think we all know who gluttony is. Oh, I try to see the good in people, Jane, but that woman has not got an ounce of it in her, never has had. Someone ought to teach her a lesson.
Dermot.
No, I mean it. She grew up in this village. Did you know that?
No.
Oh, she's very pretty. And George Pritchard was her sister's fiancé. They met when they were in the RAF during the war. And Philippa was so in love with him. I'd never seen anybody so in love. And Mary stole him.
This is George.
Hello.
She broke her sister's heart. Philippa married the other brother out of desperation, I suppose. I don't know. And Mary's been such a terrible wife to George. She makes him live here so that she can play the lady of the manor when he needs to be in London. She bullies him. Bullies everyone.
I think Eddie Seward deserved to die.
That's a terrible thing to say.
We knew him in London, Philippa. He was a piece of work. Drunk and violent.
How do you know that?
I met his wife, the one who disappeared. When? At one of those hideous balls in Park Lane where everyone dresses up as if Edward VII was still on the throne.
Are you all right?
Penelope Seward. She was quiet, didn't want to talk, but she was angry. She said she couldn't go back to the ball because she had a huge bruise on the side of her face where he'd hit her. Oh, and that wasn't the worst. She had scars on her arms where she said he'd stubbed out his cigars when he was drunk. She said if she stayed one more day with him...
Oh,
Now maybe she has.
Oh, Mary.
Obviously, the discovery of Eddie's body had spread unease through the village that night.
Put the pans in the kitchen, children. Then it's straight to bed. Hi, Dad.
Hello.
Hello, Daddy. It's nice sound. It's what I like to hear. How's the book going?
Going fine.
Dad, who do you think killed that man?
Look, children, don't mess... Can you just take these pots off the table?
No, if you go and put your pyjamas on, I'll be up in a minute. I'll take that. I'll take that. This body down the club will make a good story.
Yeah, pot boiler.
Well, sometimes pots need to boil, don't they? Otherwise, no one eats.
What does that mean?
I've put this week's groceries on the tab again. That's 4 weeks we owe now. Can you talk to your brother, Lewis? I'm sure he could help us out if we ask.
Everything's going to be fine.
£20, but I don't want to pay it off yet. I want you to put this on Flavius the Great, toast at 2:15 tomorrow. Do you know your history? Flavius, named, I presume, after Flavius Belisarius, was the only Roman general who never lost a battle. He never lost.
Hello. I thought you'd gone, darling.
Well, Mary asked me if I'd hang around in case she had a relapse.
Relapse of what?
Actually, I was waiting for you. Let's go for a drink.
Yes, a drink would be nice after today.
Good.
34, blonde. Can I have a photograph sent? Because I think she might be here.
I'll look it up.
Either that or Eddie Seward came to see George Pritchard, which Pritchard denies.
Eddie Seward, George Pritchard. This could be a high-profile case, Bill.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. If I can wrap this up quickly, it could be my ticket back to London. Then all that stuff will be forgotten. Hang on one moment. Yes, dear.
Well, something I forgot to say, Inspector. Eddie Seward was a drunk, that much was obvious. But from his behaviour on the bus this morning, I don't think he'd been drinking today.
Well, interesting, but could you walk away now, because I'm on confidential police business here.
Can I just ask, if I may, if you think the scratches on his neck were self-inflicted or the result of a fight? My friend Sir Henry Clithering, you see, says you can always tell if it's self-inflicted by looking under the fingernails.
You know Sir Henry Clithering? Scotland Yard?
Eddie Seward was a drunk, wasn't he?